Good morning, Los Angeles, and welcome to another edition of the Weekend Warrior Show. I'm your host, Dr. Robert Klapper. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Cedars-Sinai. Before we get started, you all know my dad was a carpenter, my mom was a nurse, so I was genetically programmed to become an orthopedic surgeon. But nurses have a special place in my heart because my mom was a nurse. And I want to congratulate Carrie Blue, who's graduating from the University of San Diego's nursing school to join forces to be another angel from above in the world of medicine. Congratulations, Carrie Blue, who happens to be the girlfriend of Dave Miller's son, Mikey. So good luck and drive safe down to San Diego, Coach. And Eileen. At 8:15, my guest today is going to be Isaac Fader. Maybe you've never heard of him, but he produced the 30 for 30 special about Laker icon AC Green. AC is the Iron Man of the NBA. He played in almost 1,200 consecutive NBA games. Actually, 1,192 to be exact. He also won 3 rings, 2 with Coach Riley and 1 with Phil. 87 and 88 with Riley, and 2000 with Phil Jackson. With the focus right now on our second pick in the lottery, we're talking about rookies, players at the very beginning of their careers. Can you imagine any of these guys playing 16 straight years and never miss a single game? We love Steph Curry, we love LeBron. Trust me, these guys have missed games recently because of injuries. Cal Ripken and Lou Gehrig in baseball did it. But what about longevity in art and in medicine? You're going to hear in a minute about my father's favorite actor of all time, Paul Newman. He lived to be 83 years old, Paul Newman, but he worked steadily until age 81. He was the voice of Doc Hudson in Pixar's animated films Cars. The way he describes his journey through acting is really the secret to longevity in any career. Because you know what happens when you have longevity? I don't care what you do for a living. You're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're a lawyer, you're an accountant. You get something that no one could ever explain to you in the beginning, and that is a sixth sense. You go into a meeting after you've been in the business for a while. It takes you 2 minutes to figure out, okay, he's a jerk, he we can trust, this one we can do. You couldn't do that when you started. D'Angelo Russell brings the ball up the court. It's still a wide open career. Trust me, 16 years into it, not missing a single game. He's going to know what the defender is thinking before the defender even knows what he's going to do. You want to strive for longevity. How about in medicine? I see 100 patients a week, 500 surgeries a year for 30 years. 13,000 people you operate on. When you come to me and say, Dr. Klapper, my knee hurts, it sounds crazy, but I just got to touch the skin. And with my left hand, I feel like I can see through the skin into the joint because I've opened up thousands and thousands of them. That doesn't happen right away. That's the beauty of longevity. Every other show, every other doctor is going to tell you all the problems with getting older. No, it's the greatest thing in the world to get older. It's the greatest thing to not retire. Keep doing what you're doing. You're only going to get better at it. My mentor, Dr. Ranawat, he's 81 years old. Trust me, if I need surgery, I'm flying into New York and still having him do it at 81 years old. But what is it that allows a person to find the AC green in their lives? Getting older does not stop these folks. And we'll hear more from Paul Newman and Tony Bennett singing in a minute. Klapper Vision this week has got to be about Steph Curry's elbow. He has the lump the size of a golf ball after falling in on a metal grid in the stands. We call it an olecranon bursa. What is a bursa? So the Klapper Vision for a bursa is, that's right, Steve Paulette. I saw him this morning. He's on the mend. It's fantastic. But Rebecca's doing a beautiful job with Jared, keeping the wheels together on this cart. But here's a Klapper vision for Steph Curry's elbow. If I don't care how strong you are, if I gave you a credit card and told you to rip it in half, you cannot do it. But if you want to tear a credit card in half, you know the trick. You bend it in half, you bend it in half, you keep bending it back and forth, and eventually it cracks. And then you can just tear it nicely in half. That's how you tear a credit card in half. Well, the reality is prominent bones right under the skin, the tip of your elbow, your ankle, your shoulder, your hip, everywhere where there's a prominent bone just underneath the skin, our body has a fluid-filled sac. It's called a bursa. Because if there's that much movement, we need the bone to glide under the skin. Otherwise, if there's no glide, just like the credit card, back and forth with movement, your bone would come right through the skin. That's called a bursa, a fluid-filled sac, same material that's actually inside a joint. And when you fall, like he did, it fills with blood, which is why he didn't need a needle, because just leaving it alone, it will resorb. The ones that need a needle, that need surgery, is if it fills with other kinds of fluid that becomes infected. But this was a traumatic bursa that he had. And the beautiful thing is it's between the skin and the tendon. It will not affect his triceps muscle, so he'll still be able to shoot without a problem. He can have some discomfort from swelling in the skin, but he's going to be just fine, and I cannot wait. We all cannot wait until the game tomorrow. All right, let's get into the topic. I'm already talking too much. I could spend a whole show just talking about the triceps muscle. One of the most interesting things, fighting gravity. 3 muscles, that's why it's tri, like a tricycle. How about your leg to fight gravity so you can stand up? You need 4, that's why it's called the quadriceps. And when there's 2 heads, sep by the way in Latin means head, when there's 2 heads, like a bicycle, it's called the biceps. So you got the biceps, the triceps, the quadriceps. And again, I can go all day with the anatomy because I love it. But let's get into the topic. My dad's favorite actor, because he was more than an actor to him, was Paul Newman. Because Paul Newman said, when they asked him about, you're so good looking, you're married, aren't you tempted to fool around, infidelity? And Paul Newman said, my dad told me this when I was a young boy. He said, Paul Newman said, why would I go out for hamburger when I got steak at home? There's no reason to fool around. You meet the right woman, you stay. And that's how you have a nice life. But let's listen to him early in his career talking about how he became an actor. Yeah, how do you like that? It's not like he woke up and said, I would love and dream to be an actor. He kind of got pushed into it. So listen to about his first job in acting. So this is the beginning of his career. It's not that he gets lucky, he just doesn't fight. It's like a riptide as a surfer. Don't fight the riptide, you'll drown. You know what? This may be the route that you want to take, but if you get thrown a curveball, don't just fight it. maybe it will turn out to be the best thing. So, wanted to be a football player. That didn't work out, just like Clarence Clemens with Bruce Springsteen. He wanted to be a football player, but was in a car wreck, blew out his knee, and said, well, what else do I like doing? Playing the saxophone. Thank you. Becomes one of the greatest saxophone players of all time. Paul Newman, same thing. So that's the beginning of his career. But longevity is what I want to talk about today. So let's go to his words of wisdom about having this long career.